Hello, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This episode is a happy birthday Prescribing Lifestyle podcast episode. So, happy first birthday to my Prescribing Lifestyle podcast. It's exactly 1 year since I started this podcast. On the 1st of May 2024, I uploaded 5 episodes. I've released 5 episodes all together. And since then, almost every week, we've had 1 or 2 episodes released. And amazingly, I'm up to 90 episodes. I am so grateful for this podcast to have 1 year, 90 episodes. It's up to 9,000 downloads. I've had 42 guests, and 3 of them have been repeat guests that's come on. The 3 guests have been Dr. Angela Kwong, a Sydney GP who specialises in low carb, Dr. Nellam from Brisbane, who is a low carb GP, and Julia Rudakova from Oxygen Revolution. So I'm so grateful for all these guests for coming on, 42 guests. It's been an amazing journey. So thank you, everybody, for listening to my podcast. Thank you to all the listeners, all the guests, all the collaborators that's come on. There's lots of small businesses that's shared their journey. There's the low carb community, carnivore community, and quite a few practitioners that's come on my podcast. So thank you very much, everybody, for supporting my podcast and guests who's come on this journey. I feel this milestone has been unbelievable. It's so amazing for me to have launched this podcast. It's great for myself. It's great for the business, Melbourne Low Carb Clinic. And I am so delighted to spread the word that lifestyle is medicine. Prescribing lifestyle has been an amazing journey. And I have prescribed nutrition, I've prescribed breathwork, as well as other things like strength training, exercise, how to go outside, breathwork for anxiety, stress management, exercise, performance, talking about my own journey, my own setbacks, highlights and growth, and what has happened in my own journey. So there's been quite a few. I'm just going to go through the 5 most popular downloaded episodes. And hopefully you might have listened to them. And if not, you can go back and explore my podcast episodes. But that's been the most popular. The most popular is episode 50, When Life Throws the Curveball, Navigating Stress Through Self-Care and Mindfulness. This episode has 289 downloads. And not surprisingly, because it's about myself. It's about my own journey, how I've had my own stress. I talked about how I was being complained by a patient to APRA. You can go back and listen to it if you like. And this was back in September 2024. I had a patient who made a complaint on me on prescribing low carb lifestyle. Amazingly, after about 3 months, I got cleared by APRA, and the response from APRA was no further action, which was amazing. So I've had a lot of support. I've shared this journey in the social media, and I've shared it a couple of times. That's why there's so many downloads, I think. And I've had support from lots of low carb practitioners. Dr. Fetke from Tasmania has offered to help me with counseling me and even read my response before I forward it to APRA. And there's nothing upcoming, no further action from APRA. I'm all cleared, no problems with my practice. I am a thoroughly good doctor and no more investigation on how I'm practicing. And in fact, this patient who complained about me does not have any stance on why there's no malpractice at all. So you can go back to episode 50 and it's just not justified at all. The second most popular episode is episode 2, Understanding the Basics of Low Carb, 205 downloads. It must be a lot of people who doesn't understand about low carb. So it must be amazing that people develop an understanding on why low carb works. So I really hope a lot of people have started to adopt this low carb lifestyle and understand more about why low carb works, the basics, and what I teach about. So I do teach about the science, I talk about the mindset, I talk about how low carb works for lots of medical conditions, including weight loss, reversal insulin resistance, improving diabetes, and even lots of chronic conditions, for example, mental health conditions, even inflammation, arthritis, and even cancer can all be benefited from a low carb lifestyle. So I hope you enjoy that episode of understanding the basics of low carb. The third most popular episode is episode number 5. Why do you need a low carb GP? So this episode, I've talked about how I can help. The purpose that I wanted to record this episode was I'm hoping people can listen to it, and then, of course, I want them to book an appointment with me. And I'm hoping that they don't have to book a 15-minute free discovery call with me. Of course, you are most welcome to if you've got any questions, but I was hoping to ease my workload on the 15-minute free discovery calls. But it doesn't matter, you're most welcome to have a chat before you lock in. But in this episode, you can understand what a low carb GP does, how I operate, and how I do. So just to recap, what I do is there's 2 types of patients that come and see me. Some of them have adopted a low carb lifestyle already, and their doctors aren't supportive of their lifestyle. They might want to see me to help them with some blood tests and checkups, or they might have found that they've had high cholesterol or abnormal blood tests, and their doctors aren't on board with their lifestyle. Maybe they're on low carb or carnivore, and their doctors tell them they can't do it. So quite often they come and see me and they want a second opinion about their cholesterol profile or their blood test, and they want help. So of course, these patients are most welcome to come and see me, and I see a lot of these patients. The second type of patients that come and see me is they are new to low carb. They don't know about low carb. They might have done low carb and work for them, but they're eating a standard diet and they want to lose weight. They want to improve their health, and they've heard great things about low carb. So of course I can help them, guide them through, coach them on how they can improve their health, reverse insulin resistance, improve diabetes, and maybe get off medications if they're on diabetic medications or blood pressure tablets. So that episode talks about why you need a low carb GP, episode number 5. So you're most welcome to go back and have a listen on what I've recorded. The fourth episode, and surprisingly, this is the most popular episode that has a guest on it. It's the breathwork for stress, anxiety, sports performance, and trauma with my guest, Jeremy Steed. Jeremy lives in New Zealand and he trained as a breathwork coach with me. And he improved his stress and anxiety, and he's so active with his sports. And surprisingly, this episode was the most popular podcast episode with a guest. That's episode 53, and you can go back to listen to him on how he is hoping to how he used his breath work to help with his own stress and anxiety. He talked about how he used mindfulness and it didn't really help. And he used breath work and it helped with his own journey. The fifth most popular episode is episode 46. What I have learned from the Low Carb Down Under Conference 2024. This episode, I just gave a summary of what I've learned from Low Carb Down Under Conference. I've attended quite a few Low Carb Down Under Conference before, and you can actually go to Low Carb Down Under YouTube channel and go back to lots of recordings that Low Carb Downer has put on their YouTube channel. It's an amazing library, and I totally recommend you go to the YouTube and catch up on what they talk about. And then the sixth most common episode was episode 20, Low Carb versus Keto versus Carnivore. I think a lot of people are curious about what the carnivore lifestyle does and the benefits of it. And some people don't understand the difference between low carb and keto. And you can go back to episode 20 and I will outline what I talk about in these 3 different low carb lifestyle. And I go between low carb and keto, and sometimes I have carnivore meals. Tomorrow I'm going to Carnivore Live, which is a conference in the city of Melbourne, hosted by Melissa B. And there's an episode by Melissa B. So there's so many episodes that I have recorded, 90 episodes altogether. I've invited small businesses like Simply Swap Foods with Linda and David Martuccini. I have Keep It Keto with the owner of Keep It Keto. And I've had so many practitioners, low carb doctors that came into the podcast to record things with me. There's a few practitioners or coaches that aren't really low carb keto, but they've had amazing lifestyle advocates. So like Joe Baker talked about how to manage money. There's a Paula Fenwick who talked about how to have more love at work. And then recently there's Connie who had a gambling addiction and went to jail, which is an amazing story, and she's come out as a speaker. I've asked for feedbacks on what people have thought about my podcast, Prescribing Lifestyle podcast. And Catherine, who owns a farm in the Gippsland, I think it's the Gippsland or Narre Warren or thereabouts, she took up park run, and started her running journey. And she's shared with me how she started exercising, started running because she was listening to my podcast. And she also started breathing through her nose while she's running. So thank you so much for Catherine for trying this running, starting exercise, and even tried nose breathing. There's quite a few breathing episodes, and there's 365 breathing exercise, which is a guided breath work for only 5 minutes. You can play it over and over again. There's a 20-minute breath work. There's functional breath work essentials. So there's a few guided breathwork you can play and try and improve your stress, anxiety, or help you sleep by playing those guided podcast episodes. And you can understand why. You can play an episode, I can't remember which one now. You can understand 10 tips for how you can use breathwork to improve your lifestyle. So you can dig up that episode as well. So after 1 year, I am full of gratefulness. I have been in an amazing journey. There's lots of big plans for the upcoming year. There's a couple of upcoming events coming up. I have collaborated with Carla Feed Carter from Keto by Design. She's a health coach and nutritionist, and she's collaborated with me to set up metabolic makeover program. It's a package with combined sessions and the low carb course and the low carb pro membership that I have, where I Zoom my members every fortnight. So Carla and I can do a package for you with both of us collaborating on your health journey. So you can check out Carla. We're hosting an event called Unwind and Breathe in the wonderful Regretless Cafe. Just less than a month to come. I think it's about 3 weeks' time. So you can book in for Unwind and Breathe workshop in the Regretless Work restaurant. There, I've got another breathwork workshop hosted in Being Well Caulfield, invited by the Being Well owner, to Anthony. So you can book in at Being Well Caulfield to have a breathwork event, 1.5 hours on the 28th of May on a Sunday, 25th or 28th, it's a Sunday. And so those are the two events that's coming up. I have ongoing online courses you can always sign up to, and it's a free one called The Benefits of Low Carb. It's a free e-course. You can do it at your own pace. No questions asked. All I ask is you subscribe to my emailing list and you can unsubscribe anytime. There's also a complete guide to low carb course, which is priced at $4.95. So you can sign up to this course and I will guide you through everything about low carb with some contribution from Carla about how to use your mindset to stick to low carb lifestyle. I've got a couple of books, not a couple yet. So just there might be one coming up. There's one that's launched already called Low Carb Made Easy, which is a colorful book with some meal plans and some theory and some recipes. So you can download the free, not free, sorry, it's $9.99 for the downloaded book. Or if you go on my website and purchase it, I will personally put the book into the post, into the mailbox and post it in anywhere you like in Australia. And you can contact me for overseas. And upcoming, I am writing a brand new book called Prescribing Lifestyle. So it's the same name as the podcast, and I am so excited. I am 2.5 chapters into this book, and I am going to launch it before or somewhere around September. Just a teaser that I am having a big milestone birthday, and this book will be part of my birthday celebration. So stay tuned for my upcoming book. Stay tuned for my 50th birthday celebration. And so many events. And I have hosted quite a few breathwork events now. I'm a breathwork facilitator. I've been to a couple of retreats hosting breathwork workshops. And I'm so grateful that I have grown so much. I have learned so much. I've connected with so many people. This prescribing lifestyle will continue to grow. Leave in the comments or private message me, what would you like to learn from this podcast? Let me know what you think. Who would you like me to invite as a guest? And I'm going to change the format of the podcast on YouTube to video, and hopefully people can see us rather than just audio podcast. And I am so thankful, and a special message to everybody listening, contributed to this podcast, that this is so empowering and encouraging me to continue with prescribing lifestyle. To all my listeners, everyone out there, changing one life at a time. If you have enjoyed my podcast, leave a review on whatever platform you are listening to. Leave a review or message on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Send me a message or email me and let me know how this podcast has changed you. And I look forward to more Prescribing Lifestyle podcast. Thank you again, everybody. I am full of grateful. Thank you, everybody, for listening and for another 90 episodes of Prescribing Lifestyle. Until next time, as I always say, if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. Stay tuned for more Prescribing Lifestyle podcast.